Good morning. Beautiful morning here in Boca Raton, Florida. We're going to talk about these interesting times, the challenges that the whole world is facing, the challenges you and I are facing. Yes, they're different, yet there are some similar common ground situations and things throughout the U.S., throughout the world. And in the meantime, we'll watch this dude do some of this cool surfing on the waves coming in. It's pretty sweet. Here we go. Boom. Nice. So in these interesting times, I mean, it's totally common and totally cool if in this uncertainty you have anger, fear, frustration, worry, concern, chaos. Guess what? If you don't, something's weird with you, right? Because I'm one of the most positive, glass half full type of people you'll ever meet. And this is a level of uncertainty that I feel the world hasn't faced, the U.S. hasn't faced since the era of Vietnam, right? So that led to a lot of uncertainty, a lot of change, a lot of transition. And I was born 48 years ago, and Vietnam was a couple years prior to me, so 50 plus years. And it's different. Every chapter of humanity is going to have uncertainty, and it's different for each of those chapters. So the uncertainty for Vietnam and a lot of the uncertainty revolves around wars, right? So Vietnam, and then you had the Korean War, and then you had World War II, and then it was one war after the next. And that's where a lot of uncertainty came from. What people don't recognize now with this uncertainty is it too is a war that's been going on. Well, the seeds have been planted prior to I being born 48 years ago. This has been a multi-decade, multi-generational war that the Soviet Union was clear about. I mean, there's videos of former KGB people saying, look, we're patient. We have a plan to destroy America, and just watch. Here's how it's going to unfold, step by step by step. And that was in the late mid-'60s that person, that KGB defector, shared the plan. And if you study it, you'll see it unfolded absolutely as he described in the 60s. Multi-generational takeover, as well as China. So there has been a war for decades, and for my entire life that's been going on. However, it has all come to fruition in the last few years. And that's what we're experiencing. So if you look through history and see the most uncertain times, it was all revolving around wars. Well, we're no different in this scenario right now. Not everybody will see or understand what I just mentioned there. Oh, Tom, we're not in a war. This is a pandemic. This is what it is. Well, it's also outlined, similar to how that KGB person outlined it. What's happening now is outlined in a book that's put out by Klaus, drawing a blank on his thing. It's called The Great Reset, the World Economic Forum. And they are outlining exactly what their plan is, and it's unfolding pretty much via script. So anyhow, with this uncertainty comes anger, fear, worry, frustration, concern, and uncertainty at a level that none of us have experienced in our lifetime. And with that, how do I find certainty? How do I find strength? How do I find a level of certainty that allows me to move forward without worry, without anger, without fear, without concern, regardless of the external circumstances, regardless of things that are out of my control, which is most everything except my thoughts, my words, my actions, and my emotions. Well, it circles back to the grounding and the foundation of I have conversations with God. I speak to God on a regular basis throughout the day. And many of the conversations reflect around me looking back in my life at the times when I felt the most fear, the most worry, the most concern, the most uncertainty, the most frustration, and seeing how those times pass, and seeing how when I thought there was no light at the end of the tunnel, there was not only a way out, but a way out that was better than what I could have ever anticipated. And so in essence, it goes back to trust the plan. It goes back to if, like, I ask God asking me, do you trust me? So picture the creator of the universe, the architect of the universe, reflecting on the past, reflecting on all of the amazingly highs and lows of my life, how it has been orchestrated perfectly. And everything happened exactly the way it needed to happen and was supposed to happen. How do I know? Because it happened. And similarly, if we can look at this point in time and say, man, I don't know why all this is going on, but you do, and I will have to trust you. And even though there's chaos, even though there's fear, even though there's worry, even though there's concern, even though there's uncertainty, I can reflect back on my past and see the times that were the most troubling in my life. I was able to not only pull through, but it was in a manner that I could have never expected. So if God asks you, do you trust me? Can you come to peace and have an answer that is, yes, I trust you. I will. And then what do? I say, okay, well, God, hear my prayers, but thy will be done. God's will be done. And sometimes it's in accordance with what we wish and what we desire, and many times it's far from that. And so I just circle back to allowing God to speak to my heart, and that gives me the intuition to think, speak, and act accordingly. I didn't have a plan when I turned this video on. I didn't have a idea of what would be discussed. I just felt called to turn this recording on and share what was on my mind, what was on my heart. And it's literally not on my mind, it's on my heart. I felt called to open this up because I know the pain, the difficulty, the struggle, the challenges, the anger, the frustration, the uncertainty that I am dealing with, that people in my circles are dealing with, that people in the US are dealing with, and people throughout the world are dealing with. That's just part of where we are right now. And how do I find peace? How do I find rest? How do I find certainty with these conversations with God? And my hope is that this can help open up my insights of how I remain taking the actions that I feel are mine to take, that can allow you to step out of fear and step more into faith and step more into being present in this moment and doing what you feel is yours to do. What's on your heart to think, speak, act. Do that. Don't suppress it. Don't hold it back. Follow it and watch how, when you follow what's on your heart and follow your intuition, it will lead you to places that are fulfilling, are rewarding, are joyful as you joyfully create in this brief journey we call life. So this is just some things that were on my heart to share with you. I hope this was helpful for you. I do have a YouTube channel that goes into a lot of other topics similar to this at tombeal.com. Just go to tombeal.com. Be sure to subscribe when you get to my YouTube channel. And there's huge amounts of hundreds of videos there that might be helpful beyond this, and more to come. So let's answer that question. If God asks me, if God asks you, do you trust me? Well, I don't quite understand what's happening, but yes, I trust you. I will not hold back the intuition with what's put on my heart to do. I will think, speak, and act in accordance with what's put on my heart, and I trust that it will all work out exactly as it is meant to work out. I hope all is well in your world. Once again, go to tombeal.com. Leads to my YouTube channel. Subscribe while there. Look forward to chatting with you in the future. Make today great. Bye for now. I don't know how to end it.